why do we say that it is third examination? Because we have two other exams apart from this. We have the first one, which we have discussed, civil law, and then we have the language paper. Okay, so obviously language is not something that we need to discuss here. That is something which you have to manage on your own. But here comes the second law paper. So see, before starting with this paper, the analysis, let's just understand the basics as to what are we going to discuss. Okay. So in this analysis, we'll be basically discussing the pattern. Okay. What do I mean by the pattern? Okay. How have they changed and what was the pattern in the previous years? Okay. What they've been following and how they've brought certain changes in their pattern. Second is that how you need to attempt the paper. How you'll attempt, how you will attempt time management. Okay. And finally, we'll just discuss certain very basic law points. Okay. Very basic law points which you have to mention in the paper. We will not delve into the legal intricacies like what is the law and everything. That is something you have to discuss obviously with your professors, but very basic law points. Okay. Like what are the essentials you have to mention. Okay. So this is the pattern. Okay. Of today's discussion. Have you understood, everybody? If you have any questions, please write on the chat box. Okay. Let's start. See, so in MP, the first thing we have to discuss is the pattern. Okay. Abhi MP mein, what was the situation that before this year, before 2021, they had this general pattern where they used to ask you 13 questions at large. Okay. 13 questions at large, where 4 questions were from, this will not be applicable to. No, this is for MP. Maharashtra is a different analysis. Okay, Naga. So see, 13 questions are there. Okay. Each question generally, apart from the last one, that is the 13th question, is of 8 marks each. Okay. Now, in this also, in the first 12 questions also, you will see that most of the questions are from the local laws. Okay. Local laws. So obviously, local laws carries a lot of weightage, somewhere around roughly 32 marks. This also depends that in the last portion also, that is in the 13th question as well, there could be a situation where they might ask you one question from the local laws. Okay. So in total, local laws might fetch you somewhere around 32 to 36 marks. Okay. Have you understood? Now, in previous years, what they used to do is they were somewhere around, as I said, 13 questions. Okay. तो हर क्वेश्चन का 8 मार्क्स का रहता था. This year they changed the pattern. Okay. This year what they did is they came up with somewhere around 20 questions in total. Okay. 20 questions in total. So this again changes the pattern a bit. Why would we say that this changes the pattern a bit? Because first of all, time management is something you have to check. Okay. Time management is something you have to keep in mind. And obviously with 20 questions, you have to ensure that you finish all of them, but you also have to ensure that you stick to the normal word limit. Okay. Word limit is something we've been emphasizing on a lot of times, even when you attempt your practice tests, right? Practice tests. So the general word limit is, see, if the question is of 8 marks, okay, if the question is of 8 marks, you'll write somewhere around 250 to 350 words at least. Okay. 250 to 350 words. Okay. This means 2.5 pages to 3 pages at least. and the time should be somewhere around 12 to 14 minutes, roughly. Okay. Similarly, if a question is of 4 marks, you write somewhere around 150 to 200 words. Time limit is 7 to 9 minutes. People do write an answer in 6 minutes also. So that is something you should keep in mind. Okay. This means that in total you have somewhere around 180 minutes in your paper. Okay. So roughly around 20 to 30 minutes, you're going to read the paper and analyze like what is the answer, what is going to be the structure in your head. Okay. Since in MP you have to attempt all the questions. Okay. What I would suggest is that you should go for those questions which you know the most. Okay, if you know the entire paper, well and good. But there might be a situation where you do not know the entire paper and you know certain portions very well. So go for those questions first. Okay, give your time to those questions and then complete the rest of the paper. Why would I say that? Because see, you have to attempt the entire paper. Okay, and if you do not remember anything, you'll get stuck there and you'll be wasting your time. Plus, in MP, there is no such thing as a chronology. Okay. Now, what do I mean by this? This means that you can attempt the question number 4th also before question number 3 if you do not remember it properly. Ideally, you should go according to the chronology of the paper, but sometimes if you feel like this question I know better, then you can write it before also. Okay. Have you understood? So, this is the pattern and the time period. Yes, time period. Okay. Has everybody understood this now? Let's move to the next point. See, let's discuss the level of difficulty of this paper. So I would say that it is somewhere on medium to hard. When it comes to this time limit, medium to hard when it comes to the time limit. Okay. Why would we say that? Because see, obviously it's a bit difficult for you to concisely write all the questions on time. So it's something for this, I would recommend that you should be practicing a lot of answer writing. Okay. Number 1 point. Second thing is the level of questions. What kind of questions they've asked you. So I would say questions were really basic. Most of them were very basic. Most of them were really basic. Obviously, they always play this trick. Most were basic questions. Okay. ज़्यादा conceptual में नहीं गए वो लोग. They tried to ask you whatever has been taught to you during the classes. Okay, there was nothing which you did not know. There is nothing which has not been covered during the classes. But there is one thing that there'll always be one question which is a bit different. Okay. This year they did this trick again with the MPLRC. MPLRC. So this is land revenue. Okay, so in land revenue, they asked you one question which was not repeated. So this was the only thing which was a bit different about the paper, but that is again something which they've been doing. So you should be always prepared for it. Okay, that there'll always be one portion which would come out of the blues, and you have to attempt that. And this is going to fetch you marks. This is going to give you that edge over others. Okay, so local is something you have to focus on a lot for MP. Local laws you have to focus a lot. Okay, have you understood this point? And lastly comes the question that whether the questions were repetitive in nature or not. Questions repetitive or not. Say the board first. Questions repetitive or not. So I would say that most of the questions were not repetitive from the MP exams. Okay, matlab MP previous years they've not picked a lot of questions, but they do ask you a lot from other corollary states like UP, Bihar and Rajasthan. Bihar and Rajasthan. So they do ask you questions from these states as well, repeating in all these states. Okay, because most of them are theoretical in nature, and theory is what MP mostly focuses on as well. So this is what you have to keep in mind is that, okay, it's not going to be sufficient for you to just go through MP previous years. Okay, you have to see what they're asking you in other states as well. Other states matlab Jharkhand. What do you mean by other states? Jharkhand, UP, Bihar, and Rajasthan, where they ask you such questions, theoretical in nature. Okay, so this is the pattern now. Has everybody understood everything? Do you have any questions? Let's move to the analysis portion. Do you have any questions, students?
No, sir.
Okay. So let's move to the next session, which is the analysis itself. See, so देखो यहीं पर देख लो, there are 20 questions also approximately. Okay, एक 8 मार्क का, दो 4 मार्क्स के. Generally they used to ask you 8 marks and 8 marks each. This time they asked you 8 marks and 4. So they've asked you 3 questions here. Okay, similarly they've done this throughout the paper. 8, 4, 4 here again in MPLRC, 8, 4 again in Evidence Act. Okay, 8, 4 in IPC, 8, 4 again in CRPC. See, and this is the second last from the last portion. Here they've asked you 4 ka question. Generally they used to ask you, and I say, see, the weightage overall is still the same. They ask you somewhere around, they'll ask you one question from here for 8 marks. Okay, in NI. But here now what they've done this year is they've divided it into 2 parts. Okay, matlab 16th question and 17th question. So division of marks, and they've created an extra question for you. Similarly here again, 18th question, see, they've asked you 3 questions of 4 marks each. Okay, so this is what is a bit different about MP this year when it comes to marks. Okay, let's discuss the first question without wasting much time. See, what they're saying is the first question is from accommodation. Okay, now this question is something which they do not ask you generally. Appeal is something which they've asked you only, let's say in 2007, 2008 they've asked you this question, not post that. Okay, this question is not something which they've asked a lot of time. They might ask you one portion of it. Okay, like they might ask you when does the appeal lie, or what is the provision for appeal. But this year they've asked you both the things, which is when does an appeal lie against the order of the Rent Control Authority, and explain the provisions related to second appeal. So the answer for this has been given in section 31 and section 32 of MP accommodation. Okay, section 31 and section 32. Okay, so the first question was related to appeal. Now appeal lies in the district judges court. Okay, DJ and ADJ. Okay, DJ and ADJ, and the limitation period is 30 days. Okay, after this, so see, since this is an 8 marker question, I'll be writing a lot of content. Okay, I'll be writing somewhere around 2.5 pages to 3 pages. So what I'll do is I'll be dividing it into 2 parts. First, I'll tell them that rent controlling authority is the first authority. Okay, court of original jurisdiction. Then after that, obviously against their orders, an appeal lies. Then I'll start explaining section 31, and after I've explained section 31, I will explain section 32. Okay, section 32 deals with the second part of this question, which is second appeal. Then I'll just tell them when does second appeal lie. It lies in 3 situations. First is when when the judgment is contrary to law. Okay, the first condition would be when it is contrary to law. I'll write it here. Okay, contrary to law. Second, if there's a material issue which has not been determined, not determined. And lastly, I'll explain if there's a substantial error or defect. Okay, so these 2 portions I'll mention. What are the portions? Section 31 and section 32. So this is something which is really basic. It's right there in the Bare Act. The language of the Bare Act is something you have to keep in mind for MP, because see, MP LRC and MP accommodation, you do not have any guides. Okay, unless you're a localite, you might find some guides probably there or your notes. But apart from that, there is no such particular book which you will get easily. So you have to keep in mind that your Bare Act is key. Okay, Bare Act is key. The first question was related to this, very basic and very direct. Okay, now let's move to the second question, which was, is there any provision in MP accommodation for letting an accommodation for a limited period? Okay, so yes, there is a provision, and see, this is a 4-marker question. So talking about limited period tenancy, I'll be mentioning section 19 for the same, where after the collector's orders, okay, after the permission of the collector, I can let my premise for a limited period. This is something which is in favor of the landlord, okay, because otherwise you have to prove the conditions of eviction, which becomes a bit difficult for the landlords to prove at times, okay, and it is generally in favor of the tenant. So therefore there is this one provision. So you write the policy, okay, the purpose of the act or the purpose of the provision in this case, that it wants, it's sort of creating a provision for the benefit of the landlord as well. Then you'll start explaining the provision very basically. In very basic terms, you have to explain the policy, you have to explain the section itself, and lastly, who will grant it. Okay, so who's going to grant it? The collector or anyone under the orders of the collector, okay, who's been authorized by the collector. So this is your answer for the second question. Again, this is again a very basic question. This is there in the Bare Act also, and they've asked it a few times. Okay, so this is something you can keep in mind. Okay, third is special obligations of landlord with respect to the tenanted premises. This is a very common question. They've asked you it in 2006 and 2007. Okay, so this is something you have to again keep in mind, that this is a 4-marker question. So I'm not going to write a lot of things. I'm just going to keep it concise. Okay, that obviously with every right comes a duty. Okay, so a landlord also has certain duties. Why are those duties given to him? Because see, the idea is that you have to see interests of justice, okay, and protection of the property also, apart from the fact that there should be a right of enjoyment of property, is something which is very important, okay, to the interests of the tenant. Okay, have you understood this point? So this is how I'll start my answer, and then I'll start explaining section 37 and 38 and 38. Okay, this deals with repairing, and this deals with essential supplies. Okay, so these are the 2 points I have to mention. Have you understood for the first part? Okay, इस तरह से आपका पहला पोर्शन कंप्लीट हो जाएगा. Okay, roughly you have to take somewhere around, if there are 3 questions, so 25 minutes I'll say max. Okay, 25 minutes. Keep in mind that you have to complete the paper on time. If you do not complete your paper, you're missing out an opportunity. If you complete the paper, especially papers like MP, UP, Uttarakhand, where not Uttarakhand also, but obviously other states as well, not only UP, MP, Uttarakhand, but especially in UP and MP, if you complete your paper, you have a good chance of clearing the exam. Okay, so this point you have to keep in mind. Let's move to the next portion, which is revenue. Do you have any questions from this first part? Anybody?
No, sir.
Second is MP LRC. Okay, so this portion you have to understand. They're talking about Nistar Patrak. Okay, so this question again is something which is really common. They've asked you in 2003. Okay, it's a very important portion also. They ask you a lot of times. They'll ask you a question from Nistar Patrak in particular, or they might ask you what are the other provisions related to it, corollary acts. Okay, so this entire portion is really important. Okay, 2003, 2006, sorry, 2006 and 2007 also. Okay, and 7. So see, basically Nistar Patrak has been defined under section 234. These are those documents. See, what we do is we create a document to ensure that all the lands, okay, all the lands which are barren, okay, or which are basically barren or something related to like uncultivated land, okay, which do not belong to the community at large. So those belong to the government. So we realize that okay, this is how we have to act agricultural land or something. तो उन सब का रिकॉर्ड हम लोग रखते हैं. सो दैट इज व्हाट निस्तार पत्रक इज ऑल अबाउट. आपको उतना सा मेंशन करना है. यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन इट इन ब्रीफ एंड देन सेकंड आफ्टर दैट यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन व्हाट आर द मैटर्स व्हिच शैल बी प्रोवाइडेड इन द निस्तार पत्रक. ओके, this has been given in 235. Okay, you will tell who are the authorities here, like the SDO prepares it. Okay, SDO prepares it. Okay, then 235 mein they have explained that what are the matters which shall be provided. So you'll explain that the agricultural land, I'll just write it in the whiteboard. Okay, that agricultural land. Okay, points like agricultural land and cultivation and what are the lands which have been left for grazing. So these points you have to write here. Okay, you'll explain all that. It's there in the BAT 234 and 235. 234 and 235. Okay, so this is the point you have to explain here. Nistar Patak. It is a very direct question, but it is a very common portion also. It's a very important portion. So this portion they'll ask you a lot of questions. Okay, so number one question was from there. This was of 8 marks. So I explained everything in detail. Okay, I explained what is Nistar Patrak. You explain what is the provision, where has it been given, 234 and 235. You'll explain who has the authority, which is the SDO, and all these points you'll explain. Okay, word limit नहीं है. Minimum, नीलेश एक्चुअली वर्ड लिमिट मिनिमम तो बोलेंगे. मिनिमम आपको बताया ना मैंने 150 के शब्द आपको 150 के आपको आसपास आपको लिखना है 4 मार्क्स के लिए और 250 आपको लिखना है 8 मार्क्स के लिए. ठीक है, 250 for a long one and 250 to 350 at least. I'm saying 250 is the worst case scenario when you're missing out on your paper or something. Okay, so this you have to keep in mind. Then comes the second question. Second question is improvement with respect to holding. What is included in the improvement and what is not included in an improvement. This is a difficult question. I'll say this is a difficult question. ये दो question है ना, ये दो questions. These questions were really difficult for students. आधे से ज़्यादा बच्चे नहीं कर पाए. So this question was related to the definitions clause. Okay, definitions clause. This was given in section 2J. Okay, this is in 2J. So you have to explain what is improvement, which is something really basic. Any improvement upon the land, okay, wherever the person is living, okay, and all these other like basic improvements, what are there, whatever is there in the land for the benefit of the property. Okay, those points you have to mention. And what is not improvement, that is also something which is like something which is temporary in nature. Okay, which is temporary improvements. Anything which is related to temporary improvements or anything which has diminished the value of the property, that does not come under improvement. Okay, this has been given in 2J itself. This was a 4 marks question. So you have to write in brief, okay, what is the purpose of improvement and definition of improvement. Okay. Third point was, what is the, let's discuss the third question. Okay. So second question, nobody has any questions. Okay. Third question is, what is the procedure for diversion of land? When can an applicant presume that the permission is granted? This is a new question. Okay, this is a new question. This is not something they've asked you in previous years, and it is a good question. The provision has been given in section 172. Okay. It deals with diversion of land. Application to an application to a SDO is made, and then after that, if he grants the permission, it's okay. If he does not grant the permission, that is when the applicant when the applicant can presume that the permission is granted after a period of 4 months in total has lapsed. Okay, 3 months after the application, 1 month post that. So for that you need to read the BEAR Act, but this is the provision there. Okay, तो इस तरह से आप समझा सकते हो. When is the permission for diversion not required? Everything has been given in section 172. Okay, understood? So this is for the third question. It's a 4 marker again. So काफी brief में you have to write everything, but you have to write the entire provision. जब आप पेपर देने बैठोगे ना, आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा टाइम कहाँ बीता, तो 1.5 पन्ना तो आपका आराम से कवर हो जाता है. ओके, हैव यू अंडरस्टूड? यू विल एटलीस्ट कवर 1.5 pages. Do not worry about that. Just remember the provisions properly. Okay. So in total, how many marks have you secured so far, students? 32. Okay, 32 marks from local laws. Very important. Out of 100 marks, if you can score 32 from local laws, you can understand how much weightage this portion covers. Okay, in your prelims and in your mains, okay, local laws are going to change the game. If you know your local laws, you're going to clear the exam. Okay, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then comes the sorry, basic laws of criminal law. Okay, like evidence, IPC, CPC, CRPC, and negotiable. Okay, तो इन सब से questions पूछे जाते हैं. They'll ask you questions from these portions. See now the first question they've asked you. This is very basic. देखो यहाँ पे easy हो जाता है. All these questions are very easy. Okay, evidence act is very easy. IPC again is really easy. They ask you really basic questions. Okay, so this is not going to take much of your time. You just have to remember that you have to attend the entire paper. First question deals with section 53, 54, 52, and 55. Okay, what are they asking? See, when and to what extent is evidence of character relevant and admissible in civil and criminal proceedings? Okay, is a previous conviction relevant against the accused? If yes, then when? Okay, so this is a very basic question. Very basic question. You attempted it multiple times. I think you must have seen it in your practice tests also. Have you or have you not? Some of you must have attempted evidence. Some of you must have completed evidence. So have you seen this question in your evidence act papers? If not, you will. Okay, so it's there. It's a very basic question. You just have to explain the purpose. You'll explain 52 first, then you'll go on with 53, that is criminal cases, and 54 you'll also explain 55. Okay, so all these portions you have to explain 52 to 55. पूरा आप समझा दोगे इसको. Previous conviction, when is it relevant? That also you have to explain. In case of enhancement of punishments, basically. Okay, when we want to convict a person for a subsequent offense, in those cases, previous conviction is relevant, right? Everybody knows this point. नहीं आता है आपको? पढ़ाई होगा. ठीक है, moving on. Okay, then comes the 8th question. So this question again very easy, but the thing is they've asked this not in MP. They haven't asked this in MP, but in other states. Okay, not in MP but in other states like UP, Bihar, Delhi. It's a very common question. Okay, so this question again you have to keep in mind. Okay, second question, describe the judge's power to put questions or order production of any document under section 165 of Indian Evidence Act. This is again a very good question. They've never asked you this question in Delhi, sorry, MP, but they've asked you this question in Delhi a lot of times. Okay, Delhi, Haryana, UP also they've asked you this question. Okay, so these kind of questions they've asked you in other states. So basically, it's a new question for MP. Okay, it's a very good question. Why? Because see, you have a lot of content to write here. Okay, 165 पे आप लोग काफी कुछ लिख सकते हो. You can write a lot of things. For example, first of all, you'll start with the purpose. Okay, that is inquisitorial. Okay, it is trying to secure the best evidence. Section 165 is for securing the best evidence. Then you'll explain section 165 that the court has the power to call for records and also examine the witnesses who are present in the court. Okay, you'll explain the entire thing. You'll explain the procedure. Also, you'll explain what are the basic guidelines. इतना आप लिखोगे, आपका 4 में से you've secured somewhere around 2.5 marks to 3 marks. Okay, last one you'll conclude your answer. Judgment has to be based on relevant facts only. This point you write. Entire section 165 you've covered properly. ठीक है, तो इतना आप लिख लोगे. काफी इजी क्वेश्चन, इट्स अ वेरी इजी क्वेश्चन एंड इट्स अ वेरी बेसिक क्वेश्चन. So as you can see, in MP, it's not like they'll ask you all the questions are very difficult. Some of them can be really easy and very scoring also for everyone. Okay, have you understood? Let's move to the next question, which is related to refreshing of memory. Okay, इसके लिए भी you have to see, it's a very basic question again. It's an easy question, I would say. ठीक है, सो जैसा आप देख सकते हो, क्वेश्चन पेपर इज नॉट दैट डिफिकल्ट, इट्स जस्ट दैट यू हैव टू मैनेज योर टाइम प्रॉपर्ली. टाइम मैनेजमेंट इज की. टाइम मैनेजमेंट इज की, एज आई हैव बीन रिपीटिंग. ओके, सो इधर भी यू विल जस्ट राइट 159 and you write a case law as they've asked you. I wrote State of Karnataka versus K. Yanappa Reddy. Okay, State of Karnataka versus K. Yanappa Reddy, and I explained what is witness, when are the provisions when he can refresh the memory. Also, if a police officer can also call for records to refresh his memory, etc., etc. And I concluded my question. Okay, very basic question it was, so it did not take me much time. After this, let's move to the next question. So evidence में in total, if we have to see how many questions are there, 1, 2, 3. Total number of marks, how many marks are there? 16. Okay, 16 marks are there. Earlier they used to ask you 2 questions, 8 and 8. They've changed the pattern again. Okay, 16 for evidence, 16 again for IPC. The name of the case is State of Karnataka versus K. Yanappa Reddy. K. Yanappa Reddy. State of Karnataka versus K. Yanappa Reddy. Okay. Let's move to the next question. See, this is again a very basic question. They've asked you explain preparation to commit a crime and attempt to commit a crime. So, and after that, they've asked you to point out the distinction between them. It's a very easy question. It's of 8 marks. So obviously you have a lot of content also to write. So I'll explain what is preparation, whether it is punishable or not. Then I'll explain attempt. Attempt is generally punishable, as we all know, right? It is the third stage. Okay, you cannot retrieve, etc., etc. So there's a lot of content. I explained what is preparation and then I explained attempt again. I have already mentioned the difficulty, like the differences, kind of, while explaining the answer. I have also already mentioned the differences between both. But what I did is I I took out time again and I wrote there in a separate heading that difference between the both, distinction between the both, drew a line. It's your discretion. You can draw a line or you can write separate points. It is advisable that you write separate points for them. Okay. I took that, like I did not do that because I didn't have much time that day. Okay. This was the only reason. So then again, I started with distinction, which is again something which is really easy. You have to explain first stage and second stage. Generally, it is punishable. Attempt is punishable. And preparation is generally not punishable. Then I explained in grave offenses, it is. I explained those cases. And that is how I concluded my paper. Okay, concluded my portion. Very easy question. Okay, 8 marks ka tha, so I wrote somewhere around 2.5 pages, I think. Okay. Then comes the next question, which is criminal force, hurt and grievous hurt. Again, very basic. You will just write the provisions of the Bear Act, which are again 349, 350 for criminal force. Okay. I wrote 359, 349 and 350 for criminal force. First, I explained what is force. Then I explained criminal force, which is in 350. This is 349. Then I explained the punishment, which is in 352. Then I moved on with hurt and grievous hurt. देखो बहुत सिंपल क्वेश्चन है, तो आपके पास बैराट पे है ही, तो यू कैन जस्ट राइट. Everybody remembers these questions. These are really basic questions. So I explained all this, hurt and grievous hurt. I explained the sections, mentioned the sections. Okay, 319, 320. Okay, I explained the section and I also mentioned the punishments for the same. So what I did is I told the very basics of the thing. Force I explained, criminal force I explained the sections, and I explained the punishment. These 4 things I've mentioned in my answer, and I think it is a good enough answer. Okay, तो इतना मैंने उस पे लिखा. फिर उसके बाद let's move to the next question. See, this question is again very common. Okay, this question is again really common, the one we've just discussed. Okay, both these questions are really common questions. This to they've asked you in MP also a lot of times, and also in UP. Favorite questions for UP state services. Similarly, criminal forces again, which is a very common question, and they've asked you a lot of times. Sometimes they might ask you in a 4 marks question. Sometimes they might ask you in even smaller bits, where the mixed questions are asked. तो उधर आपको शायद थोड़ा और छोटा लिखना पड़े. Depends. Okay, but generally this is a long answer for me. I would say at least I have to write 1.5 pages. Okay, have you understood? So these points I've mentioned. Ha, Nilesh, I appeared for it. Okay. Then comes the next point, which is forgery. Okay, what is forgery and when is a person said to have made a false document? Okay, so forgery is something which is defined in 464 and 465. 464 defines forgery and 465 tells us when a person has said to have made a false document. So these two provisions I've explained very briefly. I explained the mens rea and the actus reus, and I moved on forward with the next portion, which is what are the documents. Okay, when a person says this, that these documents are false in nature. That much I've explained, and I concluded my answer. Very basic question. Again, it's a very easy question. It's only that time is of the essence. Okay, तो ये सारे क्वेश्चंस आपके बैराट में भी हैं और इसमें काफी आपको पढ़ाया भी जाता है. All these portions have been explained in detail. If you've studied IPC, if you've studied evidence, okay, sir must have taught you in greater detail. Okay, lastly is, I mean, lastly in the sense, it's not actually the last, but third last. Okay, so this portion is for criminal procedure code. Again, in total this carries somewhere around 16 marks. 16 marks के question है इसमें. ठीक है, there are 3 questions here. The first one is related to plea bargaining. 8 marks का question it is. So obviously I'm going to write a long answer. I will start with the amendment in which this was introduced. Okay, which was in 2006. So this is how I started my answer. I explained the policy behind plea bargaining, and then I started with the main body portion. Try to write headings and subheadings in your answers. Okay, headings and subheadings. It comes really handy. It's easier for the examiner to analyze your answers. Okay, and he also ensures that all the important portions have been covered. So I started with this. I explained the policy. Then I explained what is plea bargaining. Then I also explained the offenses for which plea bargaining is there, which is generally 7 years and below 7 years. Also, I explained the exceptions, like in cases of socio-economic offenses, not there, women against women and children. So once I've explained this, उसके बाद मैंने बताया what is the reason, why is it not applicable in these questions, because obviously we have to keep in mind that societal conscience is still intact. Okay, and offenses against women and socio-economic offenses are of a grave nature. Okay, it's going to hamper the society at large. So I've covered this first part of the question. Okay, then I've explained the guidelines. The second portion deals with guidelines. It says that describe the guidelines provided under section 265C of the code of CRPC. Okay, and okay, so basically this deals with mutually satisfactory disposition of a case. Okay, इधर again I have explained कौन कौन रहेगा वहाँ पे, who all are present there, which is the prosecutor, the accused, and the victim himself. Okay, then I have to ensure that it was voluntary in nature and the compensation is fair and square. All these things I have to mention, and then I'll conclude my answer. Okay, final decision है करके ऐसे करके. ठीक है, I'll explain whether it is final in nature or not, etc., etc., and conclude my answer. Very easy question. Okay, it's just that you have to write a lot of content, and there's a lot of content here also, so it is not going to be very difficult to find anything here. Okay, Second is distinguish between cognizable and non-cognizable. Again, a very common question and a very easy question. कि आप सिंपली बताओगे कहाँ कहाँ प्रोविजन दिए गए हैं, what kind of nature is it all about. कि cognizable are basically graver offenses, non-cognizable are petty offenses. Okay, simpler nature मतलब, ठीक है, not petty also but of a simpler nature. Then I explain के whether the person can be arrested or not. So these छोटे points I've explained. 5 points I've mentioned here. Okay, 5 points in total. Five points. Okay. After this, moving forward, the next portion is power of criminal courts to inflict punishments. Very easy question. Okay. What I did is I just told that कि किस कोर्ट के पास कितना कितना jurisdiction है and कितने कितने offenses को वो ट्राई कर सकता है. Okay. So 7 साल हो गए, 10 साल हो गए. All these points I've mentioned. Okay. 28, 29, 30. 28, 29 and 30 to 30 of CRPC. Very common question this is. Very repetitive also. Not only in MP but in other states as well. So this is something which is of a common nature. This question is very common and it's very easy also. तो इतना मैंने इसमें लिखा. ठीक है. इसके बाद लास्ट था नेगोशिएबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स, मतलब सेकंड लास्ट था नेगोशिएबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स और उसके बाद मिक्स्ड क्वेश्चन. ठीक है. पर अगर आप लॉ के हिसाब से देखोगे तो ये लास्ट क्वेश्चन है जिसको मतलब एक सेपरेट वो दिया गया है, क्या, हेडिंग. ठीक है. तो इधर क्या है, व्हाट दे आस्क्ड यू इज फर्स्ट इज explain the law related to cognizance. So it's very simple. All you have to do is explain section 138. Okay, that when can see when does the cause of action arise. Then after that, what is the procedure? Notice is sent. Then then after that, the cause of action arises. Then after that, finally, limitation period is there for taking cognizance. Okay, so this much you have to explain. You have to explain 138 here. इतना ही पूछा उतना ही लिखना है. ठीक है. इसके बाद आंसर खत्म. ठीक है. इट्स अ 4 marks का क्वेश्चन, सो यू डू नॉट हैव टू राइट अ लॉट ऑफ कंटेंट आल्सो, यू जस्ट हैव टू एक्सप्लेन द provisions of the bare act itself. Okay. Then comes the 17th question. This question talks about discussing in brief how recording of evidence in NI Act cases differs from criminal case, okay, registered upon complaint. So there's just one simple answer, that this is recorded on affidavit. Okay, this is recorded on affidavit. And the provision is 145. So basically, this is not exactly entirely criminal in nature, but it is quasi-criminal, is what I've mentioned in my answer. Okay, this provision is there, and they've recorded evidence in 145, whereas this provision is not there in CRPC. Okay, so this is why it differs from Criminal Procedure Code. Okay, have you understood this point? इतना मैंने लिखा, अपना आंसर कंक्लूड करा. ठीक है. Last question is write short notes. Okay, this is a mixed portion. इधर आपसे अलग अलग लॉज के क्वेश्चन पूछे जाते हैं. ओके, दे विल आस्क यू क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम डिफरेंट लॉज. सो द फर्स्ट वन हियर इज फ्रॉम सीआरपीसी, व्हिच इज विड्रॉल ऑफ प्रोसिक्यूशन. वेरी इजी, वेरी बेसिक क्वेश्चन. ओके, वेरी बेसिक क्वेश्चन. ऑल आई हैव टू डू इज आई हैव टू मेंशन 200 321. okay, 321 CRPC. Whose permission is required? This I've mentioned. Who applies for it? This I've mentioned. And in what cases can one apply for withdrawal of prosecution? Apart from that, I have also mentioned the time limit, okay, which is before the judgment. Okay, so all these things I've mentioned in my answer very concisely. Somewhere around 150 words I wrote. 150 words I wrote in this portion. ठीक है, because it's of 4 marks. तो एक पेज से 1.5 पन्ने के आसपास का मेरा आंसर था, and it was complete. Then comes cancellation. For this I have mentioned 437 and 437 subclause 5 and 439 subclause 2. Okay, CRPC again. And lastly is define proved, disproved and not proved. This is very easy. This again Evidence Act ka question it is. I explained in simple terms what is proved, which is when a fact has been proved. Okay, disproved and not proved. So all these points I've mentioned, 150 words each, 150 to 180. Okay, so this is how you attempt your paper. Okay, do you have any questions, students?
No, sir.
No? So we'll bring the session to an end. I hope it was productive for everyone. So before we bring it to an end, let's just conclude that the idea, what have you understood from the entire thing? After analyzing the entire paper, which year's paper? This year's paper it is. Okay. Okay. So see, 2020 में इसकी notification निकली थी again and it was conducted in 2021. Okay. So see, when we have to conclude, basically what you have to keep in mind is whenever you are attempting a paper, attempt the entire paper. कुछ छोड़ना मत. Attempt the paper. If you're forgetting something, okay, leave that portion, go back to it later, attempt the paper. Okay. If you're forgetting something, if you can't recall things properly, then you should just leave that question for the time being and then come back to it later on. But try to attempt the entire paper. Okay. First thing is this. Second is time management. Okay. And answer writing management. Time management, why? You have to keep in mind that I have a particular word limit and I have to stick to that word limit. Okay. Just because I know a lot doesn't mean that I have to write a lot. Okay. This is the second point you have to keep in mind. Third is that Bear Act. Okay. Try to remember all the key points of the Bear Act. Try to ensure that you can mention all the key points. जो भी basic points होते हैं Bear Act के, like mens rea, actus reus. Okay. These words are there in your answer. Okay. Whenever a question has been asked, try to ensure that you mention the key points of the Bear Act, and then after that you've mentioned the same in your answer and you've explained it in your own words. This is how you write an answer for states like MP. Okay. So these are the three things you have to keep in mind. Attempt the entire paper, try to stick to the time manage, like the word limit and the keywords of the Bear Act you have to mention. Okay. Apart from that, the paper is pretty easy. It's not that difficult. Only certain portions could be a bit tricky for you. The most important thing is that your local law should be thorough. Okay, you should be really good with your local laws because they're going to fetch you somewhere around 32 marks, as I've told you. At least 32 to 36. So that you have to keep in mind. Okay, if you have managed all these things, you will be sitting in MP, okay, as a judicial officer. So these are the key takeaways for you from this session. There's one question that how to study questions which are asked from computer related. For that, there are there are these Lucent books and all, so you can refer to those. Okay, and go for computer. For law, you have to focus on your bare acts in your preliminary examination and your main examinations as well. They've changed the pattern a bit. They've been asking you a bit theoretical and a bit practical questions in your preliminary examinations also. So that you have to keep in your mind. Okay. Okay, दोनों चीजें मुझे cover करनी है, but bare act is key. Okay, so I'll bring the session to an end.
सर प्री का कुछ एनालिसिस किया आपने?
किसका?
प्री एग्जामिनेशन
प्रीलिम्स का एनालिसिस तो मैंने नहीं, अभी यहाँ तो नहीं किया.
यहाँ पे नहीं किया. कुछ प्लान है करने का तो बताइए.
क्या?
कुछ प्लान है तो उसको भी इंक्लूड कीजिए, तो भी जरूरी है ना.
ठीक. Okay, so we'll look into that. We'll discuss that before the exam comes. Okay, don't worry, we have it in mind. ऐसा नहीं कि आपको नहीं बताया जाएगा. ठीक है, अभी जो हुआ है उस पर ध्यान देते, तो इतना आपके समझ में आ गया. ठीक है, अभी अगर किसी के और कुछ सवाल हैं तो आप पूछ सकते हो. If you have any other questions, please ask. If not, we'll bring the session to an end.